Let's take a quick second to shout out our sponsors, Swish Live, our live stream platform software, providing this crystal clear picture you're seeing here on the internet. Mikasa, the official volleyball of the VLA, playing all weekend with the new V200W, the international standard, and the players absolutely love that thing. And of course, Smack Sportswear, our apparel provider, making both these teams look their best out on the floor. And now the starting lineups without further ado.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VLA Kickoff Classic, the 10th and final match of the weekend. And it's the one you've all been waiting for, the championship match between number 1 seed New York's Team LVC and the number 2 seed the Chicago Icemen. Let's meet the starting lineups first. From the Chicago Icemen at setter, number 2, Tim Faulkner. Opposite, number 9, Dan Starkey. Outside hitter number 7, Mark Jones. Outside hitter number 19, Dave Wyzorek. Middle blocker number 16, Dave Hancock. Middle blocker number 18, Brandon Poindexter. And libero number 1, Peter Jasitis. The Icemen are captained by Tim Faulkner. And New York's Team LVC at setter number 4, Luke Braswell. Opposite number 15, Jordan Varee. Outside hitter number 5, Joe Norton. Outside hitter number 18, Cody Kessel. Middle blocker number 12, Mike Marshman. Middle blocker number 10, Lance Rogers. And libero number 3, Mike Pelletier. Team LVC is captained by Chris Hosley, coached by CJ Dank and Jesse Walker. Our officials, Dave Sines and Liz McHugh.
Very interesting to see what rotations the teams start off serving and receiving in. Looks like it's going to be rotation 6 for LVC in the white and pink flamingos on the far side, and white and light blue, the Chicago Icemen on the near side of your screen. We'll serve here in rotation 2, maybe 5, with one of the outside hitters, Mark Jones, number 7, in light blue and white, starting us off. Perfect pass from Kessel to start it off, and right away a block by Hancock in the middle. Hancock loses the joust. Jones out of the pipe for the Icemen, dug by Norton off the hands. Kessel tipped over the top, picked up by Hancock. Faulkner to Wyzorek. Sharp cross court and right on the sideline. What a start for the Chicago Icemen, and get used to hearing this. Dave Wyzorek into the sharp cross court angle. If you ask him, he'll tell you his favorite shot is cross and his second favorite shot is even sharper cross. And he's going to be fooling with the LVC block all match long. Jones, after a nice serve and swing out of the pipe, will jump serve again. Chicago leads 1-0. Another perfect pass from Kessel. Kessel off, I think, the head of Tim Faulkner and out of play. Tied up at 1 here early on, and both the guys I talked about in the pre-match, Wyzorek and Kessel, scoring the points here early on. First server for LVC will be Luke Braswell, who beat Chicago with an ace in set 5 the other day. Good block touch by Rogers, and Rogers in transition, hammered out of the middle. Beautifully done by Team LVC, and a storyline for both of these teams all weekend is how strong they've been at generating positive block touches and turning them into transition offense. And a great example there, Rogers rewarded for his block touch with a swing. Clips the tape, handled by libero Peter Jasitis. Starkey out of the back row on the right side is rejected by Kessel. Nice move by number 18 in white on the far side, getting all the way out to the line, which we know Starkey likes to hit. Braswell again, LVC leading by 2. pass by Wyzorek. He'll get this platform set against 3 blockers, and he's rejected again. This time by his national teammate Kessel, coming over and closing the triple block. And a huge start for Team LVC out of New York. Just putting in float serves, making Chicago work just a little bit, and blocking the ball extremely well. Rotation 5 receive here for the Icemen. Serve just out of bounds past the deep cross-court corner, well watched by Wyzorek. And Chicago takes this side out. Number 16, the middle blocker, Dave Hancock, going to be the server for Chicago. Former collegiate club All-American at Purdue University, my teammate in college, has continued to level up his game, touch by touch, playing professionally in Germany. Kessel on the right side, touched by Jones, stuck up by Starkey somehow, sent over by Jones. Varee on the left, through the block of Faulkner and down into the cross court. Both the teams capable of playing some pretty inspired defense. Mark Jones in particular, a phenomenal middle back defender for Chicago. And we'll talk a lot about both liberos. Number 1 in blue, Peter Jasitis, former NCAA champion with Loyola for Chicago. And number 3 in black on the far side, Mike Pelletier, 6'5", tall libero out of Springfield. Kessel with the big jump serve, handled by Wyzorek. This will come all the way out to Dave on the left side, high off the hands of Rogers. Beautiful touch. Rogers again, tapped to the floor on the 31. And again, Braswell rewarding his big middle blocker for a good block touch with a set in transition. LVC looking awfully good here early as Kessel continuing to serve. That time misses short, and we talked to his coach CJ Dink yesterday about his team serving. He wants Cody Kessel to have the absolute green light, no hesitation on going for it with his jump serve in whatever way he wants, because he is sandwiched by conservative float servers in Braswell and Rogers. Really smart coaching with his lineup decisions. Nice pass by Kessel. Norton through the block into the cross court and scores. And an excellent pass generating fast offense for Team LVC. These teams have continued to increase their level of volleyball throughout the weekend after a several-month layoff, obviously due to the global pandemic. Starkey down the line. Did he get the hands? No, he did not. On its way out of bounds and an early commanding lead, 5 points for New York, 8-3. Rotation 1 receive here for Chicago. Wyzorek passing and hitting on the right side. Well out of bounds on the float serve by Rogers, an uncharacteristic error for him. Big Wave Dave, number 19 in white and blue. First team on All-American, MPSF Player of the Year at Pepperdine, and just finished his first professional season in Germany. As good of a player as there is in the gym this weekend. What a rip working on Norton, but a really good pass. Varee on the right side, down the line. What a dig from Jasitis. Way inside to Jones. Nice reset into the high hands. Starkey on the right side, cross court, dug by Pelletier. That overpass. Jones taps it off the block, plus a net violation. Big point on serve there for Chicago. Wyzorek to serve again. Put a hammer of a serve on Norton last time, but it was handled pretty well. Rotation 3 receive here for New York. Right on the end line, ace serve, Dave Wyzorek. Acknowledged as a good call by all of Team LVC. Beautiful serve, and he's targeting that seam right in between Norton and Kessel. Six serving 8. Chicago mounting a little comeback here early on set number 1. We're playing best 3 out of 5 sets to 25 points. You must win by 2. If we go 5, which I wouldn't doubt by any means, it'll be only to 15. Wyzorek again, this time misses short into the net after a bit of a delay. And now 9 serving 6, Jordan Varee, who mounted an unbelievable comeback on his serve yesterday against Team Pineapple, scoring 7 points in a row from down 24-19 to winning 26-24. Out of bounds that time by Varee, well watched by Jones and Jasitis. And you will see number 1 in blue, Peter Jasitis, move around to take up so much space in the Chicago service pattern. First look for big number 18 in white and blue, Brandon Poindexter out of Boston College. A 6'9" middle blocker. Float serve, not a good pass from Pelletier. Norton to the cross-court angle, dug by Jones. Big opportunity here in transition. Jones against 2 blockers, sharp cross-court, and missed the block and the hands. And the sideline, out of bounds. And LVC takes the side out. That ball didn't come super clean out of the hands of Tim Faulkner, not as far outside as Jones wanted it to be. 10 serving 7. This is Joe Norton, who had a ton of serving power yesterday. Just out of bounds, barely misses the cross-court corner. And Jasitis breathes a sigh of relief for Chicago. Another guy with a cannon for an arm, Dan Starkey. Both of these teams not holding back from the service line, understanding that the only way to take their opponent out of system is to serve tough. That's a good one working on Kessel. Passed right on the net. Kessel tipped over the top, and an excellent off-speed choice. Starkey late to react and get there defensively. (11-8) the server now Mike Marshman, 25-year-old middle blocker out of St. Francis. Just re-signed in his team in the French A-League for 2 more years. Long pre-serve routine, high toss. Excellent pass from Jasitis. Starkey into the block. Did he get the touch? Yes, he did. Nice high hard rip by Starkey. Not afraid of the block by any means. Nine serving 11, Jones, who helped his team out with a ton of service pressure yesterday in the pool play win over Phoenix. Rogers there through the block of Hancock and Wyzorek. And the middle attack been perfect so far for Team LVC. Back to rotation 1. Braswell and his team has a 3-point lead. Had a nice little run last time on this serve. Handled by Wyzorek off the tape. Hancock, what a rip wrist away on the sideline around 2 blockers. That is some serious range coming from the right sideline, using his shoulders and his wrist to turn it all the way back to the right. A 6 swing for number 16 in white and blue, and he'll go back to jump serve. Has hit a couple really hard this weekend, but was really conservative earlier when his toss isn't in the right spot, but does a good job keeping the ball in play at least. That one cut short. Ace serve for Hancock. Beats Kessel and really smartly located, making Kessel work really hard, passing and hitting on the right side here in rotation 1 for LVC. Does Hancock cut it short again, or does he give it the full force? I know it's been a cool weekend for Dave Hancock, having his little brother Ben, the backup setter for the Icemen. And Ben, who ran the whole offense yesterday in the last match of pools against Phoenix, played really well as the Icemen won 3-0. Chicago down by 1 after Hancock's ace, 11 serving 12. That's a nice rip off of Pelletier. And what a kick save, but that time outside the antenna by Kessel. And basically 2 aces in a row for Dave Hancock, who I know has spent a ton of time in the gym working on his serve this season in Germany. Like I said earlier, a huge recipe for the success of either team in this matchup is going to be service pressure. The team who wins the serve and pass battle, almost certain to take each set in the match totally. That one out of bounds, but a nice trip to the line from Hancock with 2 aces, of course. Now it's Cody Kessel's turn, serving from position 5. Not a usual place for a right-handed jump server to go from. But he sometimes is able to work it wrist away, see if he targets Wyzorek here. Perfect pass by Jones. Wyzorek high off the hands of the block and out of play. A little bit of a shoulder turn down the line by Wyzorek that time, who has not been shy about biting the bullet and hitting that shot throughout the weekend. Tied up at 13. Good competitive set number 1 here with Tim Faulkner serving. Good float serve and another ace, this time getting Kessel again. And the Chicago serve has come alive. They take their first lead of the match, 14-13 here in set number 1. Good pass by Kessel that time, and Rogers completely fools the block with that approach path. And see how perplexed Poindexter is after that play. Rogers, I believe, still hitting 1,000 on the match as he goes back to serve, tied up at 14. Perfect pass from Jositis. Bick to Jones and hammered wrist away off the block and down. And it is only a matter of time until we see that piece of both offenses really start to develop. Faulkner kind of breaking the seal, setting Jones on that quick pipe attack. LVC very capable as well with both Kessel and Norton. Wyzorek with an ace that last time. Already 4 aces for Chicago in this match. Keeps that one in play. Norton with a perfect pass. But a back row attack going to be called. Just a little bit too much of an overpass. And Braswell, a back row setter. As soon as that ball gets to the plane of the net, Jones doing the right thing, touching it and triggering the violation. Wyzorek again. He's been targeting that seam between Norton and Kessel for the entire match so far. That one right at Kessel. Overpassed again and hammered by Poindexter. This is going to have to come over, though, after 2 touches. Free ball for Chicago. Poindexter over the top of the block, right through Marshman's arms and down. And even more service pressure. Chicago slowly turning up the heat as it gets increasingly, literally hot in the gym. 17-14. Wyzorek, nice and smooth and slow and methodical, makes it look effortless, but unleashes on his serve. Another rocket, that time out of bounds, and Kessel dodges it. (15-17) the score. Jordan Vuri into the seam, handled by Jositis. Starkey on the right side, through the block and down. Beats a small seam. Excellent delivery from Faulkner again. And the offense started off a little bit slow for Chicago, but firing on all cylinders here lately, as all 3 of the pins have been able to exploit a couple seams. And that's because Faulkner's running the offense fast enough off of perfect passes. Easy serve from Poindexter. And another field goal, this time Marshman through the hands of Hancock. Only worth 1 point here in volleyball as opposed to 3. Thanks everyone for tuning in live on the YouTube channel. Feel free to use the YouTube chat feature. I can see it. I can see everything everyone's saying in the chat. Let me know who you're rooting for. Let me know where you're watching from. Be nice to get engaged with all the fans. LVC here trailing by 2. Good serve from Norton. That's an overpass. Free ball here for Team LVC. Kessel into the block of Starkey is covered. Really nice play by Pelletier. Kessel again, high seam. Starkey way inside. Really nice reset into the block. The pancake made by Wyzorek. Another good reset, this time by Jones. Wyzorek out of the pipe off the block touch. What a play for Chicago. That pancake by Dave Wyzorek was absolutely insane, and two really nice smart shots by the Chicago Pins, tapping it into the block on purpose to get it covered and recycled on their side. Brilliant high-level volleyball and a big point for Chicago as they go up by 3, 19-16. They've really turned this thing around since the opening kind of slump offensively. Perfect pass. Free out of the back row, blocked by Hancock and can't be kept alive. And Jordan Varee, a huge piece for Team LVC that they absolutely must get going out of the back row in particular. He struggled a little bit yesterday. A good move by Chicago there, closing the seam, and a Team LVC timeout at 20-16. Chicago with all the momentum here. Starkey out of the timeout, number 9 in white and blue, opposite out of Cal State Northridge. Can play some of both pins, but finding a home on the opposite this weekend for the Icemen. Nice rip again. Another perfect pass. Kessel into the block of Faulkner, barely kept alive. Kessel again, over the top in the cross court and missed hands and the sideline. What a block move by Tim Faulkner, an excellent touch, and everything going the Icemen's way right now. You can see the Chicago block leaving Kessel the line to hit it on the outside. He has not been really aggressive to hit at it throughout the weekend. He's all about high seam and cross court. Starkey of the Icemen again, this time misses it short into the tape. Marshman to serve here for Team LVC from New York. A huge opportunity to score a couple points on serve. A dangerous server is Marshman. And a good blocking lineup for New York right now. In the front row and right on cue, that's an ace into the seam. Some hooking action from the passers left to right. That's probably just Sidus's ball into the seam. But a nasty and well-located serve from Mike Marshman. An 18-21, a deficit that has been erased on several occasions this weekend. Marshman again. That time out of bounds. Wyzorek ducks out of the way. And a big point for Chicago getting a hot server off the line. And speaking of hot servers, a guy with some East Coast connections, Mark Jones, who played at George Mason collegiately against LVC's Lance Rogers and Joe Norton. 22-18 for Chicago. Another great serve working on Pelletier. Kessel against 3 blockers is rejected by Hancock. Wyzorek and Faulkner there as well, and absolutely no room in any of the seams. Everything going Chicago's way again. And another timeout going to be called here from Team LVC, searching for some answers after a hot start. The boys with the Flamingos from New York struggling to maintain the Icemen firepower. Somebody in the chat just put that Lou Malnati's is better than any New York pizza. I agree, and I also agree that Giordano's is better than Lou Malnati's. And since I'm with the one with the voice right now, no arguments from any of y'all. Jones coming out of the timeout has a pretty good short cut serve mix up in his bag. Does he use it out of a timeout, or does he continue to put on the pressure? Up by 5, he's got a lot of options here. That's a rip handled by his old collegiate teammate Norton. Vree on the backside, down the line off the tape. Handled easily by Jones. Starkey on the right, down the line off the chest of Pelletier. Right on the net, handled by Hancock as a free ball. Jones out of the bick, through a seam and down. And Jordan Vree continues to be very, very quiet on the opposite spot for Team LVC. Set point Chicago, 6 of them coming up. (24-18). Look at all the space to Mike Pelletier's right in the LVC service pattern. I respect Jones going for that serve on set point, but he blasts it well out of bounds. So 1 set point saved here for New York, 19-24. Now yesterday they made a similarly ridiculous comeback, down 24-19, with 7 straight points against Team Pineapple to win 26-24. Braswell serving, hand pass by Jasitis. Wyzorek for the set, hard cross court dug by Pelletier, free ball for Chicago. Bick to Jones, tipped and just short. A little bit too much traffic there in the center of the court for Chicago. Jones couldn't take a full swing, and another set point saved. 20-24. Luke Braswell, a very good float server. Going to try to keep Chicago out of system here and let the LVC block do its job. Hancock over the top of the block, and that'll do it. Off the touch and out of play. And a huge, convincing turnaround from the Chicago Icemen. Trailed by as many as 5 early. End up winning by 5, 25-20 the final score in very impressive fashion. But a lot of volleyball left to be played. See if LVC makes any changes coming out for set 2. We'll be right back in a few minutes with more volleyball from the Kickoff Classic Championship. Got to shout out our sponsors all again for the whole weekend. Swish Live, our live stream platform, Mikasa, our volleyball sponsor, and Smack, our apparel sponsor. And to give a little bit of context just about this event and what it means to this league. We launched at the very end of 2019 with this huge, ambitious schedule planned. We're going to be sharing these amazing convention center style junior events with great organizations, USA Volleyball, JVA, AAU. We were excited about an event in Louisville in April with the JVA, and then boom, out of nowhere, a global pandemic took all of our opportunities just to play indoor volleyball away. And the board of directors for this league, including Coley Palakowski, who's in the chat right now, has done so much work to make this event possible. Loy Ball on the board, co-founder of this league, who owns this gym. All the clearances and hoops we've had to jump through to make this event allowed by local and state governments, following CDC guidelines about COVID-19 prevention, and we are rewarded for all of our efforts with the ability to play volleyball this weekend. And boy, has it been fun to watch, and it's been worth it. The league has accomplished a bunch of goals this weekend in online reach. Including the impending monetization of our YouTube channel, which is all thanks to you guys watching live all weekend long. And these two teams doing their part, providing some great volleyball here in the finals, which we knew would be the pinnacle of the weekend. So some real silver linings for us as a league. Braswell, the first server for LVC, starting off in set number 2. Rotation 5 receive here for Chicago. Wyzorek with an absolutely unstoppable swing. How is it even possible to go over the block of Lance Rogers at 6'8"? Insane high contact point by number 19 in blue and white. Hancock, who had 2 aces in the last set, contributing to Chicago's dominance. Shout out to Dan Palakowski all the way from Denmark for some stats you can see in the chat. Chicago with 2 blocks, 4 aces, 6 digs, compared to New York, 2 blocks, 1 ace, 7 digs. Can't quite predict their passing statistics, but I know for a fact that the Icemen passed a higher average in set number 1. Hancock cuts it short again, working on Kessel. Rogers is roofed by Poindexter. And such smart volleyball there from Hancock. Serving the ball, making Kessel work a little bit short, kind of taking him out of the offense because he would have had a lot of steps to take to get to the right pin and making his blocker's job a little bit easier. Great read by Poindexter, fronting the 31 on Rogers. Hancock again working on Kessel, and the exact same thing. Now Varee on the left side. This time through a small seam and beats the block, and a huge swing for Jordan Varee, trying to build some confidence here. Varee recently a father for the first time. Huge congratulations to his wife. Wife and baby in the house here this weekend. Kessel serving for Team LVC. Another amazing volleyball story that I'll talk about quite a bit. What a pass from Jones. Faulkner tipped over the top. Legally is a front row hitter, but a net violation is called. And LVC take a point on serve. It was fascinating to talk to Cody Kessel on my podcast series, The Deep Corner, which you can find here on this very same YouTube channel. Kessel, a Colorado Springs native, the son of a longtime director in several roles at USA Volleyball. Grew up around the game, but Colorado not with much of a boys' high school scene. Took a gap year off before going to Princeton, now a high-level professional player in Germany. Starkey out of sorts there. Couldn't get his feet near that ball. Could be because of slipping or a set too far outside the pin. And the error made continues the serving run for Kessel. Kessel with an absolutely sky-high toss. Just gets his feet there and goes after it. A rip there. Almost knocks Wyzorek to the ground. He'll get a swing here against 3 blockers. Tapped off the head of Varee. Free ball here for LVC. Varee on the right side over the top of the block. No touch detected. Trying to get the fingertips of Wyzorek, but that is a big block to hit over. And I think that's a good no call on the touch from where I'm sitting. Faulkner to serve. Again, we'll take all the time we need to wipe up the floor. It is hot here in Northeast Indiana. Into the 90s, and the gym can only do so much to handle the heat. Tied up at 3 early going here in set number 2. Remember, Icemen won the first 25-20. Rotation 2 receive here for New York. Rogers cross court. Faulkner onto the ground. What a play by Starkey. Sorry, that was Jones flying around digging that ball. Varee on the right side through the block and down, and a big point for number 15 in white, negating some inspired defense by Jones. Rogers, who's a surprisingly good defender in the middle blocker spot. What a set by Faulkner! And absolutely crushed through the seam on the right side by Wyzorek. A beautiful one-handed delivery by number 2 in white and blue. Kessel couldn't believe he didn't dig that ball, catching it about right in the stomach. Wyzorek, a dangerous server. Looking to break the tie at 4, working on his former national teammate Kessel. Norton against 3 blockers. Excellent cover from Kessel, but right on the net, joust won by Jones. Braswell can set this ball again. Jones down the line. Did he catch the hands? No. That was the only thing he wanted, was to catch fingertips, not to hit the sideline. But that ball's spin did not change as it passed the block. Chicago takes their first lead of the set at 5-4. Beautiful pass from Kessel again. Norton into the block of Starkey and terminates. And Dan Palikowski makes a great point in the chat. Norton and Vary both have to play really well for LVC to win this match. Norton was sensational yesterday. And Vary has a chance to start his own momentum from the service line. Jones, what a rip, sharp cross court. How did he find that angle? Amazing rip by number 7 in white, Mark Jones, one of the rare specimens in this gym who's equally comfortable on both pans and just as comfortable hitting both shots no matter where he is. Some amazing range from the former EIVA co-player of the year. Braswell to Marshman, nice block touch by Hancock, but Wyzorek can't quite run it down. Wyzorek a little slow to get up after diving for that play. Still on a knee by the Icemen bench. Chicago may take a timeout here just to give him a breather. Yes, Faulkner will take a timeout here. The Chicago tied at 6, but just to give their big stick, Dave Wyzorek, a little bit of a break after that dive. Another shout out we got to give all weekend. Todd J Photography. Give him a follow on social media. Our guy Todd Coughlin, just a magical photographer. The moments that he's able to capture. He's been working hard all weekend, getting thousands and thousands and thousands of photos. In the next several weeks, you're going to see a lot of them on all of his social medias, so make sure to give him a follow. We'll be posting several of them as well, excuse me. And if you're not already following the league on Instagram, Facebook, and wherever, do it. You have no excuse. Wyzorek going to stay in the match here for Chicago. Norton serving out of the timeout. Tied up at 6. Dan, you make a great point in the chat. And Mark Jones, also a pretty accomplished beach player. Just not a single thing in his game that he just not do well. Norton, a pretty big server. See if he can heat it up out of the timeout here. Nice one, handled by Jones, his former teammate. Great step by Faulkner again. And a beautiful cover by Jositis on the block. Free ball here for LVC. Kessel high over the hands, another nice block touch. Bick to Wyzorek, hammered wrist away. What a play by both teams, and Chicago walks away with it after an exceptional block touch, doing a great job of understanding the scouting report against Cody Kessel, like in that high seam. And Dave Hancock with nice handwork, deflecting that ball upwards, and pretty much a free ball generated for Chicago. Really, really impressive high-level volleyball. I can't say enough about how big and athletic and also smart these guys are. Situational recognition and strategy. It's amazing to watch the game played at this level. Easy serve from Starkey. Vary on the right side down the line. What a one-handed stab from Jositis. Wyzorek with the set. Jones over the top, dug by Norton. Vary again down the line and absolutely hammered, and just what Team LVC has been waiting to see as their bench erupts. Peter Jositis, man, what a player. An absolute floor general for Chicago. I mentioned he won a national championship in college at Loyola. By far the best libero in the Chicago adult volleyball scene for several years now. Marshman, who had an ace in the last set, looking to break the tie here at 7. Pass by Jositis, right on the net. Joust between the two setters. Won by the younger Braswell. Smart little directional block there to his left. And LVC takes the lead 8-7. Marshman takes his time and does his pre-rehearsed serve routine before every jump serve. Unleashing into the seam. Pretty good pass from Wyzorek. Hancock over the top, and there is absolutely no stopping that. Man, I got to tell you, I played with Dave Hancock in college. I saw him when he walked into our gym at Purdue as a freshman, and seeing him now, it looks like a completely different human being. Always a stellar athlete, but the way that he has learned the game in the middle blocker position, an infinitely high ceiling for number 16 in blue and white. Tied up at 8. Nice short serve by Jones, working on Kessel. Going to make him work really hard here. This ball's going to Varee into the block and stuffed by the Daves. Wyzorek and Hancock. The Icemen doing an excellent job of picking on Cody Kessel serving. Not that he's passing these balls badly, but he's having to come up short and get down on a knee or two to pass them, and that's going to make his job of getting to the outside and being an offensive option much harder. Jones again, let's see if he goes with the same serve. He does. Right on the net. Who touched that ball last? Chicago did. That's the call. I do not know about that one. It looked to me like Hancock initiated the contact. Braswell with a huge grin on his face as he runs back to the service line. Those are really tough plays to call. But I would not be surprised if every setter wins on those exchanges. Float serve working on Wyzorek's hands. Bick to Jones through the block and can't be kept alive by Kessel. And LVC kind of trying to employ the same strategy serving-wise, picking on Dave Wyzorek, trying to make his job at least a little bit harder as an offensive option. But if you serve it right at him and he doesn't have to move, these guys good enough to transition out and hit with no restrictions. 10-9 Chicago. Hancock again working on Kessel. Tough pass. Varee against two good blockers, rolls it over the top. Big opportunity here for Chicago in transition. Wyzorek on the left side. Twirls the blocker, Rogers, and out of play. Hancock with a nice serve again. They are really aggressively targeting Cody Kessel. Same direction of the serve, but misses just long. Kessel has scored a couple points on serve for LVC last time. Likes to go wrist away from the left sideline to Chicago's left sideline. That's where Wyzorek is passing right now on rotation 6. That's exactly where he goes. Tight pass. What a step by Faulkner. Cross court through the block of Rogers and down on the end line. Tim Faulkner is playing really well right now. Doing an excellent job grabbing some balls off the plane of the net, getting up there and being athletic and physical and dishing his teammates. And now he goes back to the back row where he already has a float serve ace in this match. 12-10 Chicago. Perfect pass from Pelletier. Rogers wrist away. In the hyper-fast tempo offense. Lance Rogers, the 6'8", middle blocker, number 10 of the George Mason, with an easy-looking put away. And a serving sub inserted here, the legendary Eric Martin, 47 years of age, 5'5", number 13 in white, still doing it at the highest level. And what a bomb wrist away by Poindexter. E will go right back to the sidelines, replaced by Rogers, and then the libero Pelletier. Everyone on the East Coast who's ever played a tournament knows Eric Martin. And E, got to give him a shout out as being the graphic design guru for the VLA. Created our logo, all the graphics we've been posting this weekend and leading up to this event. Those were all by his design. A lot of work being done in-house behind the scenes to produce and promote this league. Wyzorek now serving for Chicago. 2-point lead has been maintained for most of this set and barely out of bounds. Really well watched by Kessel. It's fascinating to hear from Kessel his transition from the opposite where he played in college to the outside hitter position. His first year overseas was in Switzerland, and they kind of needed an outside and saw that his passing ability was high enough, moved him to the left pin, and I've been so impressed with the way that Kessel's passed the ball all weekend long. That serve missed out of bounds by Vary. Poindexter, 2-point lead again. Another East Coast guy playing for Chicago. Tough pass. Braswell rescues it. Kessel sends over a free ball. Handled by Starkey. Where does Faulkner go here? Hancock into the block. Dug by Vary. Norton off the block and out of bounds. And that's exactly what Team LVC is looking for. Hyper-fast tempo to number 5 in white and pink. And KG smart offense chiseling off the hands of the block. Another great block touch by Mark Marshman that time, slowing it down. Norton with a rip of a jump serve. What a pass from Wyzorek. Starkey on the right, hangs and beats the block into the seam. Starkey may have jumped just a little bit too early, and the block jumped with him, and on their way down, Starkey finds the seam. LVC not super active in the stuff block column in the stat sheet so far. Not to say that they haven't generated some good block touches, but Chicago did use some stuff blocks in set 1 to push them over the finish line. 15-13. Starkey into the seam. Nice move from Pelletier, but well off the net. Kessel high off the hands. Jositis handles it. Transition opportunity here. Jones down the line. Diving play by Vary, who's not ready to pick it back up and send this ball over. Only a free ball. Chicago again. Jones down the line. That one right on the end line. And Vary can't quite make the second dig in a row as Jones shows off his range. A point on serve for Chicago, providing some insurance as Starkey continues to serve here. LVC winning the pool, getting the number 1 seed by virtue of 2 5-set wins over both Chicago and Phoenix. Lost in 5 to Pineapple in a mostly meaningless match, and then destroyed Pineapple in the comebacker 3-0. That serve barely missed out of bounds, long of the end line, but in on the sideline. It's a good call by the line judges. And a great attempt by Starkey, despite the miss. Marshman, the perfect guy for this situation for LVC serving. See if he goes into the seam between Jositis and Wyzorek. Straight at Wyzorek, pass well off the net. This is going to be out of system swing for Jones against 3 blockers. Nice high swing into the hands. Faulkner to Hancock and through the block of Rogers. And you saw Faulkner give just that tiny little fake. A front row setter eligible to dump that ball if he wants to, and he pulled a blocker on that. Kessel had no choice but to jump on Faulkner. And great offense setting Hancock, who beats the blocker Rogers. That is veteran setting. 17-14 Chicago. Jones off the platform of Kessel. Braswell can run this down. Over the net, free ball here for Chicago. Jones out of the back row, crossbody, and barely misses the corner. And a huge sigh of relief for the New York Legion on the near side as they get a crucial side out off of a very tough serve. You hear the LVC bench right now saying, time for our run. This could be the guy to do it, Braswell. Definitely going to give Wyzorek this float serve down the line. Yep, that's exactly where he goes. Faulkner again, another one-handed set and crushed down the line one-on-one. What a match Tim Faulkner is having. I cannot believe how well he is setting his offense and how physically he's been up at the net making all the right plays. And this is the rotation where Hancock's been really picking on Kessel and making his blockers' jobs easier. See if that's where he goes again to zone one. It is. Working on Kessel short. He is totally out of the offense. Says me until Kessel gets the set on the right side. What athleticism to get up and get set that ball. Proving that the Iceman can't totally beat him. Good execution of the scouting report by Chicago, but even better athleticism by Kessel, proving both me and the Icemen wrong on that play. He goes back to serve 16-18. Good rip handle beautifully by Jones. Poindexter crossbody straight to the floor. Brandon, such an awesome energy guy, and I love watching him get involved in the offense. Poindexter, another East Coast guy, like I said, went to Boston College from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Was our match MVP in the match yesterday against Phoenix after an incredible blocking and attacking performance. (19-16), the Chicago lead, looking to go up 2-0 in this championship match. Really, really impressive high-level volleyball so far from Chicago. Perfect pass from Kessel. And Rogers is roofed by Poindexter. Wow. What a one-on-one read by number 18 in blue and white. And now the lead 4. I mentioned right before we started the broadcast that these teams mirror each other in a lot of ways, but the setters might be the difference. Luke Braswell, number 4 in white and pink, the young athlete out of Penn State, but Faulkner is clearly winning the setter battle right now. Rogers again is rejected by Poindexter, but barely kept alive, and that's going to be 4 contacts. I think that's the right call. 2 straight blocks for Brandon Poindexter, one-on-one against Lance Rogers. All the momentum firmly on the side of the Chicago Icemen right now. That timeout going to be called here by LVC. Really looking for some answers here. Late stages of set number 2. Trailing by 5. We'll be right back for the conclusion. Does LVC have another miracle of a comeback in them? Down 24-19 yesterday against Team Pineapple. They stormed all the way back, scoring 7 points in a row to win a set 26-24, and a similar performance is what they're going to need here. But there's no way the Chicago team is going to give it to him for free. Faulkner out of the timeout. Rotation 2 receive here for New York. Tough pass from Kessel. This will be Vary. Way out of system. Has to send over a free ball only. It has to be popped up by Faulkner. Jositis will set this ball. Weisberg against 3 blockers. High into the hands of Rogers and safely out of bounds. And none of the bounces going Team LVC's way right now. There's another point on serve registered by the Chicago Icemen. Good pass from Pelletier. Rogers out of the 31. What a tip. And Starkey can't quite keep it alive. I don't even know if that tip was intentional or out of necessity, but Rogers scores a really crucial point for his team. getting out of a tough rotation. And it's going to take the exact same thing that LVC had yesterday to mount this comeback. Great discipline blocking and defense into transition offense. Needing 5 points on serve to level this set. Starkey straight down the line off of Varee and out of play. And Chicago not rattled in any way by anything that LVC's thrown at them. Wyzorek back to the line, up by 6, 23-17. Can he serve the set out in style? Working on the seam between Kessel and Norton. Perfect pass. Weird play there as LVC's going to end up getting a free ball. Norton out against 2 blockers, out of system, rolls it over, dug by Jones. Jones, sharp cross court, beautifully digged by Pelletier. Braswell to Kessel against 2 blockers, chopped on and dug by Faulkner. Oh, and a ball handling error by Jasitis. Hot in this gym, slippery, sweaty volleyball slips right between his hands. And LVC walk away with a big point there inside out. And this very same server, Jordan Varee, was the guy who mounted the comeback yesterday against Team Pineapple. Jones tipped over the top. What a pancake by Norton. Kessel can have a swing at this. And he beats the block. And it falls on the Chicago side. What a play by Joe Norton. LVC going to need a lot more of that. 19 serving 23, a sensational defensive effort. Rotation 2 receive here. Poindexter, Starkey, and Jones, the front row hitters here for Chicago. Tough pass from Wyzorek off of a very good serve. This coming all the way to the outside to Jones. Rolled into the block, and he scores with the tool. What a smart shot by number 7 in white and blue. And a serving sub going to come in, number 17, Ben Hancock, the younger brother of middle blocker Dave, like I talked about a little bit earlier. Going to serve and play some defense in place of Poindexter. Nice 5-to-5 serve by Hancock. Varee out of the back row, straight down the line. Hancock with a dig. Jones again, high off the hands and scores. And Ben Hancock stepping in and playing some defense. And that is it, 25-19. The final score, Chicago Icemen with a commanding 2-0 lead in this championship match. LVC seriously searching for some answers, but this match is so far from over. You guys will take a few minutes, change sides, talk everything over, and we will be right back with even more from the VLA Kickoff Classic Championship. Stay tuned. Dan Pelikowski, I think that's really the question. Nobody can stop Big Dave, but can LVC at least slow him down to give themselves a chance to transition terminate? That is totally the question. A thing that Chicago has done so well all weekend is just touch balls and give themselves chances in defense and transition. And LVC's been crushing that area of the game all weekend long, but this offense of Chicago, a different animal than what they've seen so far this weekend. The championship, seniority, experience, and pedigree of Team LVC is getting put to the test here in this championship match. These guys, absolute winners in their DNA. Played for so many years at so many different levels in so many different leagues. These guys are going to give this everything they have. But all they have to do is make Chicago uncomfortable, and they have yet to be able to do that. Icemen, according to Dan Palakowski's stats, Icemen with 6 blocks, 4 aces, LVC 2 blocks, 1 ace. That is a massive difference across 2 sets. Ooh, a very interesting substitution here on the Team LVC side. Entering the match, number 7 in white and pink, Landon Shorts, a super springy, athletic outside hitter. Joe Norton staying in the game, and Cody Kessel looks to be moving to the opposite. I love that coaching decision. Kessel back to where he played all 4 years in college at Princeton and was a second-team All-American on that right pin. Now all he has to focus on is just ripping balls on the right side and scoring points. A gamble by LVC necessitated by the status of this match right now, and Jones is going to start us off for Chicago, serving on the near side. Excellent cut serve sort, forces the overpass. Free ball here for Chicago. Starkey on the right side, down the line and in. Chicago, if there's one word I could use to describe them right now, it's comfortable. Just so comfortable in control of this match. Physical, playing loose, blocking the ball, playing transition defense. Jones again, this time hammering an ace serve. Beating his old collegiate teammate Joe Norton. And Kessel certainly can't hit on the right side for LVC if Legion can't pass the ball. 2-0. Rotation 6 receive here for New York. Kessel going to be hitting out of the right back position until LVC sides out once. Same serve handled by Norton. Here is Kessel out of the back row and off, I think, the head of Hancock and way out of play. Braswell, after that assist, back to the service line. Kessel to the front row, blocking on the right side. Dumped to the floor by Faulkner. What a play by number 2 in blue and white. Faulkner has played, I think, the match of his life right now. So impressed with what Timmy's been able to do. Offense firing on all cylinders. Here's Hancock, but a different look on the far side than when he's serving in the last set. And that when he misses out of bounds past the deep zone 1. Norton now in the L1 spot. Jump serve coming, working on Jones. Perfect pass. Wyzorek absolutely destroyed. Cross court and the off-block defender, Landon Shorts. Impossible to be ready for an angle like that. Wow, what a bomb. Beautiful pass by Jones. And the set by Faulkner generated the one-on-one. Landon Shorts into the front row for LVC. See if Faulkner goes at him right away down the line. Overpass. Wyzorek again. This time tools the block of Kessel and out of bounds. More comfort and control from the Chicago side. Faulkner continuing to serve. Going at Pelletier that time. Perfect pass. Shorts' first swing of the match is a kill through the seam. And Landon Shorts, a young spark plug out of Division III Stevenson. Former Division III outside hitter of the year. Very Taylor Crabb-like in play style. And another change that LVC is making is switching the location of the two middle blockers. Marshman now the first server in the M2 spot. Rogers in the M1 now into the match in the front row. 3 serving 5. Just out of bounds, well watched by Jones. Wyzorek with a 3-point lead, exactly where he and his team want to be at the service line against New York rotation 3. Got to keep that one in with a suboptimal toss. Perfect pass from Norton. Rogers to the floor, but picked up by Faulkner with one hand. Stark against 3 blockers, higher over the top. Did he get the touch? No, he did not. Good effort, though, getting his feet to that ball. Had nothing to do but hit high. And LVC catches a break with a hitting error. Kessel now to serve in the opposite spot. Going to be a different defensive responsibility for him, playing in the right back and hitting D-balls, but serving doesn't change. Working on Wyzorek nicely down the line. Beautiful push out to Jones, rolled over the top, picked up well by Kessel. Braswell shorts into the block, can't be covered, and the stuff block good from Poindexter and Starkey. Another block for Chicago, clearly dominating in that category in the stat sheet so far. Poindexter, big number 18 in white and blue to put in the float serve, up by 3. Tough pass from Norton. Pelletier's going to have to set this ball. Shorts on the left side. Sharp cross court. Dug by Jones, but can't be run down. Impressive range there for number 7 in white and pink. And an energy spark plug like Shorts is exactly what Team LVC needs right now on the far side of your screen. Shorts first serve, handled by Jones. Hancock into the middle, blocked but covered. Another set from Wyzorek, beautifully to Starkey. That going out of bounds off the block, and another kill for number 9 in white and blue. Starkey up by 3. Chicago yet to be challenged by this LVC serve in this set. Beautiful pass by Pelletier. Norton high into the hands, dug by Jositis. Another opportunity here in transition. Jones on the left side, into the block and scores. Not a good block move by Braswell that time, and Jones takes advantage. Icemen lead by 4. Another good serve by Starkey. Tough pass from his Shorts. Wyzorek dug in the back row. Transition opportunity here. Jones way out of system. But in! A one-footed weird little slide approach running away from the net, and he puts it in on right on the end line down the line, and everything going Chicago's way right now. 10 serving 5. Starkey again. Pretty good pass from Shorts. Kessel out of the back row. That touched the block and the defender and out of play. And any chance that LVC gets now, they're going to want to throw the ball high up to number 18. Serving substitute in here for LVC, number 21 in white and pink, James Hosley, younger brother of Captain Chris. Backup libero replaces Lance Rogers, going to serve and play some defense. Six serving 10. Easy serve handled by Jositis. Jones high off the hands, covered easily by Chicago. Hancock crushed and dug by Hosley. Norton down the line, barely misses. Hosley paying dividends on his substitution, digging that ball right to zone 7, and Norton barely missing the line shot out of bounds. Who is going to step up and be one reliable big stick hitter for Team LVC? 11 serving 6. Jones cuts that one short, but too short. Looking to repeat the success that he had cutting it in short in front of the passers. Braswell for LVC here. This is a nice rotation for them. Rotation 5 receive for Chicago. 3 big blockers in the front row for New York. Hand pass by Wyzorek. Starkey on the right side. An incredible swing, staying behind the line. The blockers actually pulled away because the set and the swing looked pretty weird. But Starkey with no hesitation to take a full rip at that one. Hancock serving, see if he goes again, shorts down the line or pulls it back at Norton. Goes down the line but misses it short again, and a couple service errors in a row here for Chicago. LVC has to take advantage. Joe Norton, who was so good yesterday, including from the service line. Good rip and handled perfectly by Jones. Poindexter again. And there's just no stopping that. Landon Short's just a tiny bit late to help out of the outside blocker position. But Poindexter taking that ball quickly out of Faulkner's hands and contacting it so high. Comfortable, in control, words to describe the Icemen right now and still the entire match long. Nothing LVC has been able to do to take them out of their comfort zone. 13 serving 8. Perfect pass from Pelletier. Kessel into the block of Wyzorek. One hand stab by Jositis kept alive. Can Starkey have a swing at this? Roll shot coming over. Basically a free ball. LVC has to have this point. Shorts, and he does. High into the hands of Poindexter and out of play. Little substitution confusion over here for Team LVC. It looks like a different middle blocker switch. Number 8, AJ Witkowski, going to come in place of Lance Rogers. Anything that LVC can do to find a spark. They're looking for guys off the bench to contribute right away here. Down by 4. Marshman in to serve. Tough pass from Jositis. It's going to come outside of Starkey, but actually an overpass, a mistake by Faulkner. One of very few, and dispatched to the floor by Kessel. Nice serve by Marshman, set it all up, and LVC trying to generate some momentum here, down by 3, 10-13. Marshman again. Wyzorek on the right side against 3 blockers, down the line and just out of bounds. Barely missed that wrist away down the line, and no touch off the left back defender. And is this the run that LVC needs to tip the momentum scales in their favor? Marshman continuing to work on Jositis, who I can tell is kind of struggling with the moisture in the gym right now. Marshman again clips the tape, and that's going to be an ace. No, it's not. It's a second touch at least, but sent into the antenna by Wyzorek, and LVC is right back in this thing, down by 1, 12-13. And that's going to be a Chicago timeout, smartly called to stop a little bit of the momentum here. Excellent effort from the New York Legion, trying to control the pace a lot more. And again, when you try and win the serve and pass battle, and you tip those scales in your favor, the scoreboard is likely to respond. Out of the timeout, Marshman serving again, running a couple points in a row in this rotation. I believe it's been 3 in a row already. Rotation 1 receive here for Chicago. Marshman been going at the seam between Jositis and Wyzorek. The 6-1 seam on the Chicago side. That time goes to Jones, and a beautiful pass. Starkey on the left side. Sharp cross court and a beautiful put away by number 9 in white and blue. That is a huge put away by Dan Starkey. Clutch and cold-blooded. Appropriate of the mascot of the Icemen. And then Chicago gets out of rotation 1. Stops the LVC run and sends their best server back to the line in Wyzorek. And just as I praise him for his serving ability, misses that one short. That could be a break for LVC. It's going to be the new opposite, Kessel. Into serve. Actually, no, it's not. It's going to be a 6-2 substitution. The original starting opposite, Vary, back in replacing Luke Braswell, and the backup setter, Eric Martin, into serve replacing Kessel. So keeping a back row setter and a front row opposite. LVC's done that a lot this week, and I like this choice. Down the line, Jones is dug by Martin. Norton out of system, dug by Faulkner. Starkey against 2 big blockers. Into the block of Witkowski, and he's rejected. We are tied up at 14. Exceptionally good coaching by CJ Dank and Jesse Walker of Team LVC. Inserting the 6-2, inserting Landon Shorts, inserting AJ Witkowski. And it's paid off in the form of energy. And then that transitions and translates into the scoreboard. Tied up at 14 for the first time in a while. Poindexter restores some order for Chicago, though, on the quick tempo 1 ball. And if any of you thought we would have anything in this match other than a barn burner, you were crazy. 15-14 Chicago. Poindexter serving again. Just out of bounds, dodged by Pelletier. Can't say enough good things about how I like this 6-2 substitution for LVC. Vary and Martin, the new opposite setter combo. Shorts to serve here. Got a good jump spinner. Ace serve right on cue. And LVC with their first lead of the set, I think, at least since the very early going at 16-15. What a turnaround. Shorts again after the ace. Targets the same seam, but dodged by Wyzorek. Tied up at 16, and for the first time maybe in the entire match, Chicago feeling just a little bit of pressure. LVC commanding the energy right now. Rotation 2 received for them after the 6-2 has inserted. And another service error by Starkey. LVC not having to work hard to side out lately after a couple service errors. Witkowski's first serve of the match coming up, number 8 in white. On the far side, working on Wyzorek. Perfect pass off his hands. Starkey out of the back row, down the line, dug by Witkowski. Martin can run this down. Shorts out of the back row, handled easily by Wyzorek. Chicago's got to have this. Jones down the line, and he does. Big swing by number 7 in white and blue, and we're tied up at 17. Jones goes back to serve, looking to do some serious damage, and he is more than capable. But a different look on the other side than he's used to serving at throughout this match. Players in different positions than they were before because of the 6-2 sub. Who is Jones going to target? Beautiful pass from Shorts. Vary on the right side, cross court, dug by Jones. Wyzorek can hit this ball, and he does. He terminates high through the seam. Right on the end line. What a dig by Mark Jones. And that's the recipe for Chicago. Transition defense into offense. That aspect was kind of absent during this little LVC run, but that is a huge point on the serve of Mark Jones for the Icemen. (18-17). Jones handled by his old college teammate Norton and tapped to the floor on the overpass by Wyzorek. Did that ball get to the plane is the question, and the officials have answered it with yes. And once it does, then Wyzorek fully within his right to go up and touch that ball. The height of Eric Martin doesn't help his cause there on that call. 19-17 Chicago. Cuts that one short, handled by Marshman. Short side of the back row, high into the hands of Hancock, and sides out for Team LVC, and that is a big play. As now the original setter opposite, at least in this set, are going to come back in. Kessel to the front row, Braswell to serve. Rotation 5 received for Chicago. Hancock and Wyzorek in the front row. Perfect hand pass by Wyzorek. Hancock out of the middle, tipped, picked up by a diving Braswell. And Norton off the dig of Jositis. He's going to score in transition. What a rip out of system by number 5 in white and pink. And we are tied again at 19. Outstanding dig by Luke Braswell, flying all over the floor. Don't be surprised if Faulkner goes back to Hancock in the middle here. Wyzorek on the ground. Wouldn't be surprised at all. It's going to be Starkey on the right side, high into the hands, and just out of bounds. A huge out-of-system kill by number 9 in blue, Dan Starkey. High into the hands of the triple block. Hancock with a 1-point lead, up 2-0. Tight battle here in set number 3. 20-19. There's the short serve handled by Marshman. Braswell to Kessel and brilliantly tipped off the block of Faulkner and down. One-on-one abused. Kessel against Faulkner. We're tied at 20. Norton here to serve. Could we be headed for extra points here in set 3? Chicago on the verge of a championship, but a bunch of flamingos standing in their way in the form of Team LVC. Good serve by Norton, and it's an ace. LVC takes the lead 21-20. A lot of pace and off of Mark Jones's midline. Is Chicago going to let this roll, or are they going to call another timeout? Let's see. They're going to let this roll. They got a side out here on the serve of Joe Norton. New York with a narrow advantage. And a good move by Chicago not using a timeout as Norton misses his serve, and now we're tied at 21. Level-headed Icemen leader Tim Faulkner putting in the floater against New York rotation 2, tied at 21. Shorts against 2 blockers, throws it down in the joust, kept alive by Jositis somehow, dug in the back row. Can Kessel have a swing at this? He can! And off the block of Poindexter and out of play. What a play from New York on this far side. Who was it that bump set that ball? It had to be Joe Norton. Incredible play. Getting Kessel a ball that was hittable. And then Kessel terminating off the hands. Marshman just out of bounds. And that's a break for Chicago, as it was Marshman's serve that got LVC back into this set and therefore this match. Now it's Wyzorek, a pivotal moment in this entire weekend. This serve right here. 22 all in set number 3. Conservative serve from Wyzorek, but overpassed and dunked to the floor by both Jones and Poindexter. That is a big mistake from Team LVC on a serve that was very passable, and Chicago once again takes a narrow advantage. Wyzorek again, this time bringing the heat. Pretty good pass from Norton. Shorts on the left side, through a small seam in the block and down. And a huge play for Team LVC to get Wyzorek off the line. No 6-2 sub coming in this time for LVC. Kessel's going to go to serve. Braswell will play the front row as the setter. Very easy serve from Kessel. Wyzorek out of the pipe, hammered crossbody, and nothing Kessel can do about that to keep that alive. And at 24-23, Chicago's going to have a championship point here on the serve of the serving substitute, Ben Hancock, coming in for Poindexter. Chicago did the same thing in the last set. Stakes were different, but Hancock got a dig in transition that Chicago won the set on, 24-23. Shorts, and that's it, a championship-winning ace. Ben Hancock, the backup setter as a service sub with a 5-5 float serve ace, and the Chicago Icemen win the inaugural VLA Kickoff Classic and are the team to beat going forward in this league. What an unbelievable match and a performance by the Chicago Icemen all weekend long. An incredible finish to an incredible weekend of volleyball. Wow, what a moment for the Chicago Icemen. That set number 3 had everything. This match had everything. LVC did an unbelievable job pulling it back. But of all things, the backup setter as a service stub with the ace. Float serve 5-5. Wow, what a weekend of volleyball. The Icemen worked so hard all weekend long. Absolutely deserving of this championship. And the city of Chicago is proud of these boys. Such an incredible and tight volleyball scene in that city, in that area. Gotta commend LVC as well, a silver medal finish on the weekend. And they deserve a ton of credit for proving how high of a level of volleyball can be played in this league. Gonna get at least one of the Icemen on the mic before we kill the stream. And I'm gonna do a bunch of interviews. But as for volleyball action, that is it for the weekend. What a weekend we had. Congrats again to Chicago on the win. We'll be right back with a couple interviews. Stay tuned. Ben Hancock, get in here first, buddy.
All right, man.
Of all the ways to win a championship, it's the backup setter service sub. And you and I were talking about last night, the 5-5 float serve, a serve with a lot of value compared to how difficult it is to execute. And sure enough, a championship winning point with ice in your veins. What a weekend for you, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was super awesome to come out here and play with these guys. I mean, the team is just a great group, and I'm super blessed to have the opportunity to play with them. Yeah, this is a pretty surreal feeling. It's pretty cool to play among people who are super talented, and not only they're super talented, but really welcoming and really easy to get along with. So it was a great weekend.
Congratulations again. It was fun to watch you set the offense yesterday, and knowing your role, being prepared to be called on as a service sub. What a way to push it over the finish line. That match really had everything. So congratulations, and I know it must have been cool to play with your brother too, right?
Oh yeah, it's great. He's a really good competitor, and he's a great role model. He's a great brother. I loved it. I wouldn't change it for anything. Thanks for calling it, Rob.
Congratulations, Ben, again. Mr. Starkey, sit down with me, please.
Sweaty.
We talked a little bit after the last match as you guys entered the finals. And as my kind of theme talking about this thing the whole time was control and comfort. Until the very end there in set number 3, you guys were in control. It looked like you guys were comfortable out there. You were controlling the ball first contact. Your offense was firing on all cylinders. But then you got pushed. How did you respond in set number 3?
It was the big thing for us is we missed 4 or 5 serves in a row, and we were siding out well, which thank goodness it kept it a close game. But we kept missing serves, and actually Jonesy came up and did an amazing job, put like 3 balls in a row, and I think that's the game. It gave us a fighting chance again. Again, struggled a little bit from the service line, gave them an opportunity, and luckily we were siding out well, and Jonesy really stepped up for us there at the end, which was awesome. So definitely big there.
An incredible weekend of volleyball and such deserving champions. The future of the Chicago Icemen team is so bright as this league continues to grow. Congratulations again.
Thank you, sir.
And I want to get Trevor Weiskircher in here just because he's standing next to me. Trev, you had the best seat in the house for this whole thing.
That was great.
But a nice way to kind of feel the atmosphere, what's going on team culture-wise, every meeting in the sidelines. Like I was just talking to Dan about, I don't know if you guys coasted in sets 1 and 2. You guys just executed and put your foot on the gas. But what was the mood in the couple timeouts you took in set 3 as LVC started to push back?
Well, kudos to LVC. They're a great team. But towards the middle of that third set, we started not making our serves. I think we had 4 or 5 missed serves in a row, just for them to side out. And then towards the end, we started to put a little bit more pressure on them, and we're just like, hey, let's play our game. Let's clean it up on our side, and then we'll for sure come and take this third set.
It was nice to see you guys throughout the weekend use so many interchangeable pieces. You played incredibly well on both pins. What does it say about the team culture of the Icemen that no matter who's out on the floor, you get the same high-level product?
It's the camaraderie. I mean, all of us are from the Chicago area. All of us see each other, whether it's playing indoor or outdoor volleyball. And we just have built a relationship where we're really great friends, and doesn't matter who's on the court. We all just have mutual respect for each other as players and people, so it makes for a great team atmosphere.
Congratulations again on an amazing weekend performance. Let me get the captain in here, Mr. Tim Faulkner.
How you doing, sir?
Timmy, how awesome does this feel?
Oh, it feels real good. Real good to to get the win, but to do it in such a fashion and to have it be a clean match like that. Yeah, all the feels. Good job.
I think that your two teams were so evenly matched, but I really think your play at the setter position was the difference. You made all the right plays at the net, scooping balls, one-handed sets, whatever it was, such a beautiful, level-headed execution of the offense. And you guys were in such control for most of the match until the very end. What did it take to put this across the finish line?
Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment. I mean, from the start, we were just really laying the heat down from the service line, and they were having a hard time getting in system, and our passing was great. So once again, throughout the weekend, I've been able to keep everybody in system and just get everybody firing on all cylinders. Brandon had great swings, Dave had great swings, Dan, other Dave, Mark played amazing, Peter was getting all sorts of touches, and we really just played another hard-fought battle all across the board.
So well deserved, and this is a proud moment for the Chicago Icemen, as now you guys are the top dogs.
Oh, yeah.
The team to beat going forward, like the next time the VLA takes the stage, whenever that ends up being. You guys are the team to beat. That's got to feel pretty good.
It is a good feeling, and to this is the most complete tournament that we've had in a while, and a lot of times we've struggled in previous tournaments by being real burnt out by the end of the tournament. And you know, the work that we put in earlier in the weekend to finish matches in 3 when there were pushback from other teams, I think really kept us fresh, and that might have been a big difference in our match versus LVC's match tonight.
Hot gym like this, that's a huge key, and that's a really good point.
Can't melt the Icemen.
Can't melt the Icemen.
And yes, I recognize how lame that is, but I'm okay with
Put that in the hashtag. Do it. Do it right
I'll
now.
come up with something better and put that on some shirts. But.
That's what we're talking about. Do me a favor, go grab a couple of your other teammates. I want to talk to Peter. I want to talk to Brandon, if at all possible. I'd love hearing the euphoria of victory from you guys. Well-deserved. Congratulations again.
Deal. Thank you very much.
Hey, Brandon. Dave, you're next. Come here, buddy.
What's up?
Brandon Poindexter, congratulations, man.
Yep.
I was so impressed with your play all weekend, making some incredible blocking reads,
Yep.
and then just being such a high-energy guy.
For sure.
Is that a role that you know is yours, and do you, like, embrace that, or is this just kind of who you are?
I embrace that to the fullest. I'm a high-energy player. Nothing gets me more excited than watching my guys go out and perform well. I'm usually the loudest person on the court, so I take a lot of pride in that. But, yeah, if I can get the energy up, we play well. You know, if we're down, it helps us, get back up. So, yeah, man, I love it, man. I'm still kind of on a winner's up or high right now, so it's great.
Well deserved. Congratulations again. Some of the plays are going to come off the highlight reel from this match. If you bombing a couple balls straight down, it's going to be really fun to go back and rewatch this one. So huge congratulations to you guys, and the whole city of Chicago is really proud of you right now.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, when I moved out here 4 years ago, the volleyball community really took me in. I feel like it's helped me raise my game a lot. So I'm looking forward to competing more with my guys and with the VLA and everything. So yeah, it's the start of something great.
Thank you, buddy. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Mr. Wyzorek, step into my office. Big Wave Dave.
What's going on?
Dude, you were unbelievable this weekend. What was your first competitive experience with the Chicago Icemen squad like?
Oh, man, it was awesome. I think it was just, like, a lot of good camaraderie, and, like, to be able to get that your first time playing with a team is pretty special. So I played with, like, these guys individually, but as a unit, like, to bring them all in, like, different parts and pieces, it was amazing.
And a guy who's played at the highest levels like you have, talk to me about the level of competition overall this weekend. What did you see, especially given that we haven't played in the last several months? This league's got a pretty good thing going for it, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Like, the level of play is really high. I mean, you got a lot of professionals, ex-professionals. I mean, it's just awesome to see that in this league and in the U.S. So to be able to play against great talent locally is pretty special.
Also, what's your favorite shot to hit?
Angle.
What's your second favorite shot to hit?
A little more angle.
And your third?
The most angle.
Perfect answer. Thank you so much, dude. Congratulations again on the weekend. And I want to talk to your libero, who was unbelievable in this match.
Perfect. Yeah, he was.
Hey, Peter, come here.
What is up?
Peter Jositis, congratulations, man. You were everywhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely everywhere. It was amazing to see the way that you controlled all the seams. Bye, Mr. Q. Thank you so much. Got to shout out our officials who did a great job this weekend. Compared to the way that you guys played LVC on Friday versus today, what do you think were the biggest differences?
I mean, just the way the team clicked. You could see it. We were kind of thinking during the match in the first match. The second day, we got a little bit smoother, a little less thinking, a little more reactionary. And today, we just knew where everyone was on the court. And, I mean, volleyball, it's a lot of jump high and hit hard, but the chemistry is what really wins it when two teams can jump high and hit hard. And that's what we had going today.
Well said. And another thing about kind of playing the libero position is that one dig that you make that can change a match. And there were a couple of those today. I think one pretty notably went flying over this way and one-handed stabbed at the ball. There was one in left back where you one-handed stabbed at the ball. What's it like to make those plays and know that how much of an impact you have, even if it's not necessarily in like the stat column?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the dig is great. You always love to keep the ball up, but really it's how the team rallies around it and reacts, right? If that dig starts the snowball that eventually becomes the avalanche, I mean, that's what you're looking to do. You're just trying to make a play with your effort, right? And then have that effort transfer to the rest of the team. And, I mean, you saw it. You saw big hits from Dave, big hits from Brandon. Everybody was crushing the ball after we laid out and made a play. So
we saw it. Everybody on the live stream saw it. An incredible performance by you guys all weekend. Huge shout out to the Chicago Icemen program. You guys have got a lot of good stuff going on. We're excited to see you next year.
Yeah, This has been so much fun, and thank you, Loy and Team Pineapple, for hosting.
Thanks, buddy. One more very special guest, Mr. Dave Hancock. Get in here.
Hello, Rob. First, I just want to say thank you for all the time and effort that you've put into this. I know you take copious notes across the table, and all the work that goes in behind it. We appreciate your work and your effort. So,
thank you so much, buddy. That means a lot. And you and I obviously go back a long way. And it is so personally, prideful for me to watch you play at this high of a level. And your Icemen guys, it's just a sensational thing that you accomplished this weekend. The level of volleyball was so high that you achieved, just based on the eye test. And so I've gotten the feedback from a lot of the guys that I've talked to, even just now, about what it kind of felt like to do that and respond when you got pushed. But from you, I want to ask what it was like to see your little brother come in as a service sub and win the championship.
it was awesome. I mean, he knows what he does, and probably 4 days ago he could have told you he was going to hit a 5-to-5 float serve. So the amount of work and effort he put in the past 3 years, with not a lot of reward, to be honest, and being able to come out here, play with us, set a great game yesterday, and just be able to come in and sub, made a dig, contributing to the win was awesome. And we haven't played together since my senior year in high school, where he was just on the team as when we went to sectionals. So just playing with him is really fun because we get along, and having somebody on the bench who I know has got my back all the time is awesome.
It was really fun to watch all weekend, and your whole Icemen team just came together in a way that looked so complete that I've never really quite seen it before. And it was really impressive after a few months of not having played volleyball at all to then reach this peak on Sunday. How did you guys pull that off?
Staying patient. I mean, you saw it out on the court. There was times where we did get down, but we know our game. We know we have big hitters out there, and when we make plays and get on runs, we're gonna score against anyone out there. So just trusting ourselves and trusting that the guy next to us and the guy behind us is gonna make a play. And I mean, even in 4 days of practice that we got, I think we really developed that tight-knit trust and bond, and so it's going to be exciting to see as we go to keep the squad together and keep playing.
Well, you guys are the team to beat whenever we go forward. The next time the VLA exists, the Icemen will be at the top, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. It was an awesome weekend, and just excited to go out the way we did.
Congrats again, buddy.
Thanks, Rob.
Can you go get Mark Jones for me? I want to talk to this guy because, boy, does he deserve to get recognized. Mr. Mark Jones.
Hello.
What a match that you just played. I can tell that you are absolutely gassed.
Yes, it is hot in this gym.
It is hot in this gym. It had to be worth it, right?
Absolutely. It was a ton of fun playing out with such high caliber players and just playing the sport that we love. So it was great, especially knowing the other side too, knowing some of the guys on the other.
I was just about to ask that.
It's always nice to have a little bit of edge and wanting to beat the guys you played with before. So it's a ton of fun, and it's very hot.
It is very hot. You cannot understate how hot it is in this gym. I'm dead serious. I'm sitting here and I'm sweating, not quite as much as you, but that's okay. Some of the differences in your guys' play all weekend were the defensive plays that you made. You, Merck, Josias, all the guys flying all over the net, making defensive plays, and then those turning into offense. And you also on the offensive end, taking these out-of-system situations, using blocks, resetting into the block, getting things covered, just such high-level stuff. And you've been supported by your teammates the whole time. But, I know that your body was taking a little bit of a toll here at the end. What did it take to really will yourself to push this one over the finish line to get this championship done in 3?
Absolutely. It wasn't easy. Everybody had to do their job. You had Brandon, who was blocking phenomenally in the middle and slowing down somebody, Lance Rogers, who was a high caliber player who always hits 800, 900 every single match. To have Brandon doing that for us is huge. It makes it very easy also to play defense with such a strong block up there. You know, when we have our guys closing and not letting that seam be there, closing back in allows for us to pick up those balls, be a little bit more in system so we can transition hit. Yes, there were some plays that we definitely had to make sure that we were taking care of the ball, but there were so many other plays, about 70% of the plays, where we were able to go up and hit an in-system ball. You know, you were able to see Dave Wyzorek being able to go out there and hit his normal crutch, his normal angle shot. You know, there's always more angle for that guy.
That's right.
But also Starkey, you know, our pins were able to do their job because early on, Timmy did a great job solidifying the middles. And even at the end of the match, you could still see the middles running. We were still running that big ball. We were able to run an offense. So that's what pulled us through.
The development of the big ball in your offense, you in particular, was a huge part of it. LVC didn't run it nearly as much as you guys did. And as you know, that's such a way to space the floor with 4 hitters against 3 blockers. It kind of requires being in system to really run it as fast as you guys did. And you're exactly right about how you guys controlled the ball the first few sets. And Tim Faulkner deserves so much credit, doesn't he?
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, our first contact, having Peter beside us out there helping both Dave and I, you know, always making the first contact, being there for the down balls. Any ball that he can get his hands on, you know he's going to be sliding around to get. That opens up the floor for both Dave and I to transition and attack. Again, everybody did their part, everybody was able to do their job, and that's what pulled us through the match.
Dude, congratulations again. It was an incredible weekend to watch of high-level volleyball. Thank you guys for contributing to what this weekend was. And the next time we see you, you'll be the team to beat.
Absolutely. We're excited for it. Thank you very much, Rob.
Thanks so much, Mark. Congratulations again. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in all weekend. 3 sets to none the final score for the Chicago Icemen, the champions of the first ever VLA Kickoff Classic. Amazing volleyball throughout the weekend, and so much credit to all you people on the live stream tuning in online for helping us as a league accomplish a lot of our goals. If you're not already subscribed here to YouTube, following us on Instagram, please do that right now. And with another big thank you, I'm Rob St. Clair. Signing off. Enjoy the rest of your weekends and expect a lot more content from us regarding all this match footage that we now have in the very near future. Stay tuned.